We're running out of water and they're building more houses!
Turn it back on. Do you hear me? Turn the water back on. Elena Ruiz didn't raise her voice often, but today wasn't normal. She stood at the edge of her family orchard, 120 acres of apricot trees her great-grandmother planted by hand, staring at the furious woman charging down the dusty road toward her. That woman was Maribel Knox. And Maribel wasn't just another HOA president. She was the type who believed authority was something you perform, not earn. Loud heels, louder mouth, neon pink blazer over a white blouse, and that sharp, tight-curl bob haircut that screamed, "I demand to speak to everyone." But none of that mattered until she decided the Ruiz orchard ruined the aesthetic value of her newly built luxury community. The moment she moved beside Elena's land, trouble arrived with her. Maribel bought the ridge next to Elena's orchard and constructed Knox Ridge Retreat, 60 high-end eco-villas that looked nothing like nature and everything like a wedding catalog. From the day she arrived, she stared at the orchard like it was a stain. She even drove her pearl-white SUV right up to Elena's fence and said, "You know, this view would be stunning without all these old trees." Elena smiled politely. "These trees fed my grandmother's generation. They're staying." Maribel's smile twitched. She didn't like no. 1 week later, Maribel marched up Elena's driveway with a leather folder and a rehearsed smile. "I'm prepared to offer you a very generous amount for your entire orchard. Think about the possibilities." Elena didn't need to think. "No, my family built this place. I'm keeping it." Maribel froze, then laughed, then glared, that same cold, reptile stare Elena would come to recognize. And just like Malcolm knew with Evelyn, Elena saw the same look. This wasn't over, not even close. 3 days later, at dawn, Elena heard engines growling. She ran out, and her heart nearly stopped. Bulldozers were clearing rows of her trees. Workers were cutting irrigation pipes. A surveyor hammered new stakes into soil that had been Ruiz land for 120 years. Maribel stood in front, wearing a neon pink blazer and a construction hat, shouting orders like she owned the place. "You can't do this," Elena yelled. Maribel didn't even turn fully. "Oh, but I can. We updated the boundary. This is all part of Knox Ridge now." She handed Elena a freshly printed map, complete with seals, signatures, and a fake county watermark. Elena felt sick. It looked real. And like Malcolm, she had no documents in her pocket to prove otherwise. Before I continue, what state or country are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing the map fill up. And if you believe land thieves should always face consequences, hit that like button and subscribe for more wild HOA stories. Elena called the sheriff. Deputy Leland Ortiz arrived, examined both women, and sighed. "Her paperwork looks official. Unless you can show otherwise, this is a civil matter." Maribel smiled like she'd already won. Elena went home furious, but determined. She spent the entire night digging through old storage crates in her barn until she found it. A brittle parchment map from 1894, hand-drawn, sealed with the original county crest, clearly showing the orchard well inside her family boundary. But the next morning, the sheriff delivered the same answer Malcolm got. "Only a judge can overturn a recorded survey. Your court date is in 4 months." Maribel wasn't waiting. Within weeks, she cleared 30% of Elena's orchard, laid foundation for a community spa, blocked Elena's irrigation path, filed noise complaints against farm equipment, and installed cameras aimed directly at Elena's land. And every day, she strutted through the construction site like a queen. She believed she'd beaten Elena. She had no idea her downfall was buried in the water records. Elena knew the courts wouldn't save her, so she went deeper. In her attic, she found dusty boxes containing her great-grandmother's water ledgers, the original water right agreements from 1894, granting the Ruiz family, quote, primary agricultural control of all upstream irrigation gates. Maribel's new community spa, landscaping, and villa systems all depended on the same canal. And the canal existed on one condition: the orchard always had first access. Meaning, Elena had the right to divert, release, or shut off water any time the orchard required maintenance or dry season protection. And guess what season it was? Dry season. Elena filed a certified notice to Knox Ridge. Due to agricultural maintenance, all upstream irrigation to non-agricultural structures will be suspended for 72 hours. Maribel refused to sign. She told the mail carrier, "Return to sender. She's bluffing." Her refusal only created proof she knowingly ignored a legal warning. For 3 days, her workers kept building, landscaping, and plastering, completely unaware that Knox Ridge's water was about to disappear. At sunrise on the 4th morning, Elena drove to the rusted irrigation tower her great-grandmother once operated. She turned the wheel valve, one slow grind at a time. The canal feeding Knox Ridge went still. In 1 hour, sprinklers sputtered, cement mixers stalled, plumbing lines hissed, pools turned into empty blue bowls. By noon, workers panicked. By 2 p.m., the spa's foundation cracked. By 3 p.m., Maribel arrived, heels sinking in dry, crumbling mud, screaming at everyone within a 50-yard radius. Then she spotted Elena standing near the empty canal, holding the certified notice. Maribel stormed toward her, face red, curls shaking. "Turn the water back on, right now!" Elena calmly pointed at the letter. "You were warned. This is agricultural priority land. Your villas were built in restricted irrigation territory." Maribel called the sheriff again. Deputy Leland Ortiz reviewed Elena's documents: the 1894 water right ledger, the certified notice, boundary maps showing Maribel's illegal expansion, and photos of workers inside restricted zones. He lowered the papers slowly. "Ma'am, she has the right to shut off all water, and your structures appear to violate multiple agricultural protection laws." Maribel's jaw dropped. "What? Do you see what she's doing to my community?" He nodded. "Yes, ma'am, and everything here says it's your fault." Behind her, the villas were cracking apart, literally pulling themselves open under the dry season heat without irrigation support. Insurance arrived the next day. They denied every claim due to illegal construction, tampered survey documents, environmental violations, and negligence toward legal warnings. Investors demanded repayment. Contractors filed liens. Banks froze her accounts. The county threatened criminal charges for falsifying records. Maribel, the woman who once bragged she would beautify the entire valley, now sat in her glass HOA office surrounded by lawsuits. Her entire luxury community was dead before it ever opened. Elena restored her orchard, reopened the canal, and walked her land, untouched, thriving, and hers. Justice delivered by water.